Community reaction is now coming in after President Cyril Ramaphosa announced that the South African Defence Force will be deployed to assist police in tackling gang violence in the Western Cape. While government says the SANDF will act as a force multiplier to stabilise crime hotspots, residents in some parts of the province most affected say they have mixed views on what soldiers on the ground will mean for their safety. Newzroom Afrika's Nasiphi joins us now live. Nasiphi, I mean, we've seen this before. 2019, soldiers were deployed to some hotspot areas, and that didn't yield as many or the desired results, according to community members. What are these community members saying about this deployment?
Well, Nompumelelo, just yesterday, President Cyril Ramaphosa, speaking at the sideline of the Presidential Golf Challenge, he said that there has been deployment of SANDF, as you mentioned previously, as force multipliers. And he agreed that there was improvement in these very communities where SANDF was deployed on the Cape Flats to act as a force multiplier and assist the police in conducting their work. So at this present moment, as you mentioned there, that there has been mixed feelings regarding the deployment of SANDF, taking into account the bloodshed that we've seen in over a year on the Cape Flats in places like Mitchell's Plain, where criminals or gangsters are so brazen that they shoot individuals in front of a police station and a magistrate court, where justice and safety should be paramount. But we are joined by Lynn Phillips, who is the secretary of the Cape Flat Safety Forum. Lynn, you have an overall view of safety and gangsterism and the impact of gangsterism on the Cape Flats. Your immediate reaction to the announcement by the President during his State of the Nation address?
Good day to you and good day to all your viewers. Yes, we welcome the deployment of SANDF into our communities, specifically our gang-infested areas, as a force multiplier. We also want to say that there is a certain task, because we understand the mandate of SANDF, and we want them to do a certain task, not like in the past where they were sent from pillar to post, but that it's more organized operations that will take place.
I mean, Lynn, there has been mixed feelings regarding the deployment of SANDF. I mean, some members of the communities welcoming this, others a bit apprehensive, saying that they will be deployed for a certain period. What then happens after that period when we see a gang flare up again?
That is the concern that many have. But I think this is a whole of society approach that needs to take place. For me, I feel that unless we deal with the root causes of crime and criminality, I'm speaking about poverty, I'm speaking about unemployment, school dropouts, absent fathers, sense of belonging. Those are the things that needs to be addressed in this Western Cape so that we can deal with the real issue of crime and criminality. Until such time those things are not being addressed, we will find crime and criminality, because our people are... The city is a city of two tales. You have the rich and the poor. And on the Cape Flats is the poor, so they fed for their livelihood on the Cape Flats. And that shouldn't happen. That we should also be part of the broader Cape Town. And most of our people have to travel outside of Mitchell's Plain to go find a job. Whereas, why don't we develop our areas in order for people to stay inside and find their job? We have people with highly skilled, and I hope this is going to happen, because I would like to see that SAPs, detectives, crime intelligence, all those members are highly skilled. I'm asking the provincial commissioner, why is he not deploying the specialized forces at police station level in order to stabilize our communities? We have stabilizing units, we have trained members of SAPs in specialized forces. Why can't those be deployed to our station? I'm also asking SANDF to enhance our skills of SAPS members. The other thing that is critical for me is I said in the past that we have a syndicate of criminals operating within SAPS. Until that is being dealt with, we will find the same situation all the time. We want SANDF to do the outer perimeters. When search and seizures are going to happen in a particular gang-infested area where guns and drugs is prevalent, that nobody should have a cell phone, nobody should have radio communication so that gangsters don't know when it's going to. I don't want them to announce the time and the date that they're coming into the areas. They must just be there in the areas. And nobody should know when they are doing certain things, because they need to stop the cars from moving in and out, because once people know that they are here, the first thing that happens, it moves out of the area.
With that in mind, Lynn, I know that the President, just speaking yesterday, that he's directed both the Ministers of Police and Defence to devise a plan, and also looking at budget, how this plan is going to work out with the rollout and deployment of the SANDF to these communities, both in the Western Cape and in Gauteng. What more would you like for them to look at and consider when making these plans?
I think the most important thing for me is their intelligence. My understanding as a layperson that crime intelligence is very sophisticated in SANDF. So I would like them to enhance the skills of the police, specifically with crime intelligence and sophistication of using electronics to deal with certain things in our communities. Because I can tell you, our gangs are so sophisticated. They're using the very same electronics. They deal with things via electronics. So we need to up our game as force multipliers. They need to up their game. We need people that would be assertive in our communities. Because if you're not going to be assertive, things just go past you. I mean, I can be dressed so nicely, then I can be the one that takes the guns out of the area or the drugs out of the area. So they need to be on top of the game all the time. I know sometimes in the past what I've picked up, as SAPS members send them in a different direction and they go in a different direction. Things go haywire when that is happening. But for me, seriously, to deal with these things, we need to deal with the socio-economic challenges that we have in our society.
Lynn, give us a pulse of the Cape Flats when it comes to gangsterism, to a point where the President announces a deployment of the SANDF to the Western Cape, city of Cape Town to be specific.
I think the areas that we really need them is Hanover Park, because we find shootings daily. Manenberg, we've picked up that. Eersterivier, Kuils River, we've also picked up. Hanover, Mitchell's Plain, is certain pockets within Mitchell's Plain that we're having these things happening. And we speak about Lavendale, we speak about Steenberg that is flared up now. So there's a range of areas. If we look at Athlone, if we look at Belgravia Road, an area that was very quiet, but it's also flaring up now because of the flay. So for us, we are tired seeing the blood on the road. And we understand the mandate of SANDF is different, but we feel this would be stabilizing our communities, and I hope and pray that they would train SAPS members to do that, because that is what we've got a community that is traumatized, and I think this is going to bring more trauma to people because they see SANDF, but I would also want them to bring the medical staff to do debriefing with specifically looking at our learners that are facing these things every day.
I mean, you speak of SANDF and that they're not trained to interact with humans. Just yesterday, the President saying that SANDF is trained to kill.
That is our concern. They are trained to kill. That is my concern, and that's why I would like them to pour their skills to SAPS. Specifically looking at the health department, which is very skilled. If they can part how to write a docket, how to ensure that successful incarceration once. And I also want to raise this, that the courts and the NPA need to play that pivotal role by sitting and looking at how the docket has been captured in order to ensure a successful incarceration. We've got Kailicha Court, Gang Court. Is it happening? It's not happening. At this moment, you don't find these people being arrested and incarcerated. So for us I always say, yes, they are gangsters. They are destroying our communities. They're causing destruction in our communities. But there is certain skills that they also have, business skills. And how do we turn that negative into positive? That is for me that needs to also happen in our society.
Lynn, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you so much for your time. But that is Lynn Phillips there of the Cape Safety Forum, Secretary, speaking about the issues on the ground when it comes to the Cape Flats, the issues that plague these various communities. And she's saying at the core of what has been described as unending bloodshed for over a year in these communities is a lack of access to social development, unemployment. And she's saying that when there is this deployment of the army as a force multiplier to SAPS, they are asking for the various government departments to then come together and sit around the table and devise a very immediate implementable plan to see an end of the scourge of lack of service delivery in these communities and access to services as well, which will ultimately, according to Lynn, be one of the reasons to see a decline in the crime and gang violence we've seen in communities such as Mitchell's Plain, Hanover Park and Manenberg that have been gang prone for a number of years.
Nasiphi Same out in the Western Cape